Verse 359. There is mind only. There is no visible world. Apart from mind, there is no rising. This is taught by myself and other Tathagatas to be the middle path. We reached the middle path in the previous verse. The middle path is reached, according to verse 358, when mind only is understood. Why is it called the middle path? The middle path comes between two efforts that we must make. And these are described in verse 358 as well. It's when external objects are abandoned. And this doesn't refer to some kind of self-depriving asceticism. It means we no longer emotionally invest in the objects of our attention. It means that the attention is no longer automatically hijacked by whatever is presented to it. So that's one of the efforts, the effort of not allowing the attention to be drawn here, there, and wherever, willy-nilly. And the other effort is when discrimination no more takes place. This is tied in with the first effort, because for external objects to be abandoned, it isn't about fighting the pull of their attraction. It's about abandoning the discrimination which identifies them in the first place. We can actually only do this by what is described in verse 258 as understanding mind only. It isn't actually understanding mind only, it's practicing mind only. And mind only is our awareness. It is the attention itself. It's what is aware of things. But in mind only, there is only awareness. I sometimes describe it as a sense of being, because we're not letting our sense of being be siphoned off into all the objects that the attention normally focuses on. I've been examining this in some detail recently, exploring it a little further. I tend to identify mind only with the attention. But in focusing on the attention itself, and I ask myself, well, what is this attention? I find myself seeing that the attention itself is not particularly pleasant. It is a state of tension. It's attention. It's like a little knot in the brain, in the cerebrum. And in observing this, it's possible to go beyond it. And now we've arrived at mind only. I'll perhaps say more about that another time. But let's press on with verse 359. There is mind only. There is no visible world. This is the practice of the enlightenment practitioner, who is practicing mind only. We are no longer caught up in discriminating objects for our attention to get lost in. Now the next phrase, I haven't read it as it's laid out in the main text in D.T. Suzuki's translation. It doesn't quite make sense. So what I've done is I've substituted an alternative translation that Professor Suzuki suggests. Apart from mind, there is no rising. In other words, this is fundamental reality. It's what everything depends on. Without awareness, what would there be? We could create concepts of an external world that's always existing. But for us to know anything at all, there has to be awareness of it. So let's not invest more reality in our hypothesis than in the fact, the fundamental fact of our own awareness. So this is the middle path. It's taught by the Buddha and other Tathagatas. Tathagata is one who dwells in suchness, mind only, or what I refer to as the sense of being. So mind only could be understood as the other side of the attention. It's when we drop the tension of the attention. And you might wonder, well, how do we do that? Total acceptance. Total acceptance. A little phrase came into my mind, popped into my mind a few weeks ago. I was going to put it as a status update on Facebook, but I think it would meet with the polite indifference that most of my statements meet with. And the statement was, space is love. Space is love. Love is total acceptance. The taking down of barriers, the taking down of all obstacles. This is what space is. We may not feel that we've got access to love, but we've got access to space. There is no me here. Me just gets in the way. Me is a product of the tension of the attention. So we accept, we totally accept, we embrace, and we keep accepting, we keep embracing. We keep opening to spaciousness, to graciousness, to love. This is what's on the other side of the attention.